Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. The day after, Verona 0, Juve 1. Goal and decisive goal of Moise Kean after an assist of Adrien Rabiot at the 60th minute. Guys, I tell you immediately, yesterday was a horrendous game of Juventus. Missing creativity, not able to find Kostic and Cuadrado on the wings. We were playing with long balls because when we have no ideas, when there was absolutely no play of Juventus, we had one solution. It was going with long balls. That was absolutely not working. So if we are here to speak about the performance of Juventus, if you want to hear me speaking about the performance of Juventus, you know it already. After not even 1 minute, I tell you, yesterday was absolutely not a beautiful performance of Juventus. That being said, I don't want in that video to enter the stats, the graphs, the performances, the heat maps, because we all agree that it was a disgusting, horrendous performance. We can do it a bit later, maybe in another video, in a singular video. But in that one, I want to take away some things from my chest, because I'm absolutely not happy with the anti-Juve world. The hypocrisy of the anti-Juve world, that was absolutely disgusting, and not fair in judging what is happening in Serie A with 19 teams and then judging the single Juventus team. It's absolutely hypocrite and dishonest from the anti-Juve world. I'm speaking about tifosi from Napoli, Roma, Inter, Milan, but I'm also speaking about big journalists that should be neutral but are showing who they are really are. And then also some teams, some really accounts of official teams that yesterday were absolutely disgusting, not only in judging Juve but in the way, because we are already at match day 14, how they are judging only the Juve episode. That's one thing. And then, if you are still there in the second part of the video, I want to take away another thing from my chest. Is I'm tired. I'm tired of not being able to celebrate a win of Juventus, because there is always something and someone that is judging you and labeling you as you lowered your standards. I'm not speaking only about Giuseppe, myself, but some Juventini yesterday that were happy of the win. Not about the performance, the win, the 3 points in a difficult field like Il Bentegodi. Historically for Juve, in a difficult moment for Juve, you can't. And if you win versus Inter, yes, but Inter had their chances in the first half. As if it was my fault that Dumfries and Dzeko, they are missing with open goals. It's not my fault if Juventus played better. If we are losing versus Paris Saint-Germain but played a better thing, you can't celebrate because you lost. If it's this, then it's this. If it's this, then it's Allegri. Then it's Alexandro. Then it's Rabiot. Then it's this. Guys, I want to speak about that after. I don't want to start immediately with it because I'm already starting to be really angry, because there are some things that has to be really explained to some people. Then we start immediately. If you want to, maximum of likes, subscribe to the channel. We go with the first episode that made me really angry after the game of yesterday, when I discovered, unfortunately, that on the official Twitter page of Verona, Hellas Verona FC, and it's an official Twitter, it's not one that is a joke, it's not the parody account that bought Twitter Blue, no, it's the official one, we can check it. They posted without any explanation that image, it's not a video because they can't, because of copyright, the image of the handball of Danilo. I will tell you immediately my opinion, and I'm not an expert, I'm not a referee, I don't know all the law book of referee, but judging this episode, for me as a fan and a Juve fan, I try to be objective, and for me this is a penalty. Verona, according to me, should have received that penalty. And then we don't know if they score or not, but if they score, they equalize and the game is finishing 1-1, because I don't believe that Juventus would have recuperated that game. We accept it and we are pissed off. Not because of the penalty, because of the performance of Juventus that was not able to beat Verona. And here, I believe it's a penalty, according to me, according to my judgment. Not the one of Bonucci. The one of Bonucci, better to stay silent about it, because Bonucci is touching the ball first. And we saw it, VAR watched it, and VAR decided correctly for once, correctly for once, that it was not. Di Bello, the referee, was disgusting yesterday. All the first half, he whistled only fouls for Verona, and it was a disgusting referee. I was scared on the penalty of Bonucci that also this time we would have been penalized incorrectly. On that one, on that episode, I have to say that, according to me, it was a penalty. They are telling us that it was not like that. That's what they are telling us. They are saying in Beppe, it is not a penalty. The referees, the expert, are saying no. Gazzetta dello Sport is saying, mano di Danilo non punibile. The handball of Danilo is not to be sanctioned. The penalty of Bonucci is not a penalty. Then Danilo, Gazzetta, they continue with Di Bello non bene. Di Bello, the referee, not good, and we all said it. Danilo braccio non è rigore. Ma Danilo, the handball, is not a penalty, but what? Again, Gazzetta dello Sport manipulating the people, the anti-Juve fans with but, point. What does that mean? But, ... Or it's penalty or it's not penalty. That's something that already make me angry. And then also Tuttosport with Danilo is falling on the ground. Natural movement because the ball was deflected, so Danilo had absolutely no idea where the ball was going. He was already falling on the ground. This is why the penalty was not given. I tell you the truth, for me, this is a penalty. It's the penalty like the one of Roma. The one of Roma versus Juve in our home. The game that we did 1-1 at the end, that we lost some points. It was penalty yesterday for Danilo. It was penalty for Smalling. So at least there is some continuity of judgment by the referees on that episode. It was not a penalty for Smalling. It's not a penalty yesterday for Danilo. And guys, I can go back to other things. The handball of Candreva. We can go to the handball of Smalling. We can go to the goal disallowed by Danilo last week versus Inter. And these are the things that makes me angry when I see these images of Verona. Because Napoli, they opened the score. When it was 0-0, we really dubious penalty on Osimhen. Did we see the picture of Osimhen on some accounts from some team? No. I saw so many strange episodes against other teams. Nobody is putting it. When it's Juve that is receiving, apparently, a favor, because it was not a favor according to the referees, even if my opinion, if it's a penalty, but the referee are saying no, well, then we finish there. And then the anti-Juve world totally crazy, judging the episode of yesterday. All crazy, criticizing Juventus. All crazy. And they are back in stealing. Juventus is back. Like, if you are counting all the episodes against Juve this season, and the one that yesterday was maybe dubious, how are we back in stealing? When did we steal? And that episode will be labeled to all the Juve fans at any single win. Especially if we are going to the front pages of the Italian media who are saying Arriva la Juve. Juventus is coming from Gazzetta dello Sport. Then you have Corriere dello Sport. Juve, what a push in the ranking. Then you see Tuttosport with make a space because we are there with an ugly win, but still in Zona champions. And this is one of the big problems that the people are starting to fear Juventus, because Juventus is back, not in terms of performances, but at least back in the ranking of Serie A. Backing in the ranking of Serie A, and that's the image that I want to show you immediately in terms of ranking. Look at the ranking here. Napoli's first, and I don't even think about reaching them, especially not before Serie A 2.0 after the World Cup. Then you never know what is happening. What moment will Napoli be in? What moment will Juve be in? We don't know what will happen. But at the moment, I'm not even concentrating on Napoli. They are there, deserve first with +8 on Milan and Lazio. But citing these two teams, Lazio and Milan, in that order, guys, this is the surprise. Juventus is at 2 points. 2 points away from Milan and Lazio. Something totally incredible. And that's why the game of yesterday, the win of yesterday versus Verona, was crucial, decisive, and important. If they give us our points of Lazio, of Salernitana, and Roma, we are second at 32 points. Why can it be another decisive game? Because we are playing versus Lazio next week. Atalanta is playing versus Inter next week. Napoli is a bit lucky to find an Udinese that is not winning anymore. Even if you give them the goals, they are not winning anymore. But the last game of 2022 can be super important to understand if Juve, yes or no, are there in Champions League zone. second, third, fourth, or out of it if we lose versus Lazio. Guys, that being said, we are now in the last topic that I really want to speak about. It's Juve fans. We spoke about the anti-Juve world. Juve fans that continue to be angry about every single thing. Every single win. We are winning since 5 games in a row in Serie A with 5 clean sheets. Playing versus Inter, Derby d'Italia, a derby versus Torino that is always difficult. Verona, that is a team that in the last 10 years we only won 2 times in. With big coaches, years 2000s, year 2015, whatever, it has always been a difficult. We win, we have a clean sheet, they are angry. They are angry about every single thing. And then they are labeling us, or people that are happy about the 3 points, as the standards are lowered. I will tell you one thing. I'm following Juve, I'm following Calcio, I'm following Serie A since more than 30 years. These games, these dirty, disgusting wins are deciding the end of Serie A. This plus some really strange referee decision during the year. But these ones, because in Serie A you said always some things. You always said the best defense win, 1, and you win trophies versus the small teams. We, a few weeks ago, were losing versus Monza, not able to beat Sampdoria. Sampdoria and Monza, they were really, really low in the ranking of Serie A. Well, Juventus was not able to do it a few weeks ago. We are still able now, finally, to beat these teams with dirty wins, with half of the team that is absent, with a physical condition that is not optimal, playing every 3 days, where we will have to address the situation during the winter break, where Juventus is expected to be able to run for 90 minutes for more than once a week from 2023 on. I take the win. I embrace the win. I am happy with the win. Understanding that we have a lot of problems to fix. We have to fix them. And Juventus should be first. And Juventus should win 37 games on 38, with the other one that is maybe a draw. Let's say it like that. Then I will be extremely happy and proud about my team. Now I am not happy. I am not proud about what we saw yesterday. It was not a beautiful win, but I can guarantee you that in the last 30 years, I saw a lot of these wins in Serie A. And these wins at the end of the year, adding them up, they are crucial, important, and decisive. Same as the one of Alexandro yesterday, because Allegri yesterday he said something really important. What about Alexandro? Luckily, Alexandro, he made that fall. He doesn't deserve a punishment or a fee to pay because of that red card. Instead, he probably deserves an award. And I'm absolutely okay with that. A lot of people yesterday, they were celebrating in the chat, saying that Alexandro is man of the match. Why? Because they understood the importance of the moment. I remember all the Italian fans from whatever team celebrating the Chiellini yellow card. You remember final versus England, Chiellini really smart, taking away the shirt of the player on the ground, yellow card that could have been really dangerous. Every single Italian people were celebrating that moment. Now they are all hypocrite. Now they are saying our own reporters, and no, Alexandro, he just entered the game, he made that stupid red card. Why? Why are people happy about what he did? Well, Alexandro yesterday, he sacrificed himself for the team because he understood the importance of the moment, the importance of what he was about to do, but also the consequences. Not being there versus Lazio, but at least being able to fight versus Lazio with that close points, -2. Instead of a goal of Verona that could have been really, really hard for Juventus because mentally you collapse. Mentally you totally collapse after a game that you had to win, because yesterday there was a must-win game. Guys, I'm fed up with a label that people are labeled as lower standards. You can tell me everything. You can tell me, Beppe, you're old and you didn't evolve to the new European standards of Premier League football. Your standards didn't reach the new evolution of football. Maybe we can discuss, and probably I will tell you that I'm a vintage old guy that still loves the Serie A. Maybe you can tell me that I lowered my standard because I'm happy of a win of Juventus, 3 points with a goal. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. I expect more of Juve. I accept the first spot in Serie A. I expect Juventus to play better, yes, but I understand that a few weeks ago, this game, we lost it versus Monza. A few games ago, we lost that game versus Sampdoria. A few years ago, we lost that game versus Benevento and all these teams because Juventus was absolutely not able to do more than 5 wins with clean sheets in a row since 2018. We are speaking about 4 years. We were not able to beat Verona since 2017, 5 years. So please, please, lower standard, no. Being happy because Juventus wins and is for the first time in the top 4, yes. Grazie to listening to my big rant, 15 minutes, without even analyzing the win. I hope you are still there at the end. If you are, let me know. Thank you, grazie, forza. Forza Juve. Ciao Juve.